he's a liar too. He's just as bad a liar as his father. He got up there. I have to say the prosecution did a good job of saying to the jury right off the front in its opening statement, we wouldn't be here if he were just a drug user, abuser, addict. That's not what we do. We're here because he then went and got a gun and he lied in his application on the form and he wasn't allowed to have a gun as an addict. Those are the laws of America. And normally the left would be jumping up and down, agreeing with all of that, right? They want tighter gun controls and more enforcement of the gun laws that make it harder to get a gun. But now they're just kind of tisking about this prosecution like, oh, he's just an addict. So I think the prosecution did a good job in getting that out there right from the front. This is not about somebody suffering from addiction. And by the way, almost all of these jurors has somebody in the family affected by addiction. I mean, almost everybody in America does. So that's how it's going to be. So that was a smart way to sort of get that out of the way. But here's the thing. Hunter's defense is going to be that he was not a crack addict at the very moment he filled out the forms saying he was not an active user of drugs or an addict, that he was not an addict at the very moment of the purchase, and therefore the government has no case. Now, again, this goes back to October 23rd, 2018. All right, 2018. That's when, let me revise that. October the 12th, 2018 is when he bought the gun. October 13th, one day after he bought the gun, he sent texts to his love interest, Hallie Biden. That's Beau Biden's widow, who he was shtupping. I'm sorry, it's very weird. About seeing a drug dealer. The day after, he texted his lover about seeing a drug dealer. And then Hallie Biden's going to take the stand and talk about the events of October 23rd, which is the day she found his firearm and threw it into a garbage can at a nearby mall. So we've got 10 days, October 13th, 2018 through October 23, 2018, for the prosecution to prove he was indeed a crack addict and an active user, Viva. From what you've read so far, how do you like their chances, the prosecution's?
Before I forget this thought, I want to say something. The whole Russian disinformation and that foreign interests might use certain information to corrupt or coerce or extort political leaders. The fact that the FBI and intelligence had this laptop for upwards of a year beforehand, it's not only foreign interests that can use compromising information to blackmail politicians, intelligence can do it as well. And you have to ask yourself why it was that intelligence had this and what they were doing with it for a year, if not arguably potentially extorting or planning to extort or coerce some action out of a politician. Just to throw that out there so people can actually think about that. It's not just foreign interested blackmail. As relates to the merits of this case, there are going to be some constitutional questions here. Second Amendment shall not be infringed. If you're forced to answer certain questions on a form, is that an infringement of the Second Amendment? Now, I don't think that's the argument that the lefties are going to want to take with this. The ambiguity of the phrasing of the question, I forget exactly how they phrased it, but I can understand the semantic argument. Well, I don't consider myself an addict, so why would I answer yes to that? Second Amendment argument, if anybody needs Second Amendment protection, well, it's definitely a crack addict, drug addict who's buying drugs from criminals. He needs to have this protection. So there's going to be constitutional arguments to it. The bottom line is just the outright
Viva, wait, Viva, let me put it up on the board because we have the language.
Yeah, the wording's
in a full screen for the audience and for you. Hold on, let's put it up there. Okay, that's it, but no one can read that.
I'm getting old. My eyes are bad. I can't see that. But
hold on.
Read it out loud, Kelly.
Can't,
Megyn.
I know. I had it right in front of me. Kelly, can you send it to me? I had it in front of me, but I can't find it in this huge packet. Kelly McGuire is going to send it to me. I'm going to read it out loud. Go ahead, Viva.
Yeah, so there's going to be some ambiguity in the wording. I doubt they're going to raise the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. This is an unconstitutional requirement. The bottom line, he's dead to rights in terms of the actus reus and the mens rea of this crime.
I found it.
He did the act.
Sorry, I'm such a pain in the ass. Forgive my interruptions. It's a good point to read the actual language, and my team had already given it to me, and I didn't see it. Okay. It reads, are you an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance. So very clearly, crack and cocaine would qualify. So unlawful user of or addicted to. Go ahead, sir.
There's that Mitch Hedberg joke where he says, I used to do drugs. I mean, I still do, but I used to too. There's a semantical argument that you can understand someone's going to make there. I don't consider myself an addict. I'm not a user, but I have used. I mean, I can understand the argument, but I'll let Phil take this away because he's an actual lawyer in America. Might have a better opinion.
And I've actually filled out a lot of those forms, actually, and they're not hard to understand. I mean, it's pretty clear language. I mean, you can play the Bill Clinton, what is the definition of is. You can play a little word semantics games, but it's obvious that the form, it's not asking you, are you actively smoking crack cocaine while you're buying this gun? That's not what it's asking. Okay, it's asking you, are you an active user, unlawful? And there's really no. There might be a lawful use for some drugs, but there's no lawful use for crack cocaine. And so the answer to that question has to be yes. And let's not forget, they found cocaine residue, I think, in the holster where the gun was stored. So it's obvious that that he's guilty. I mean, he's an active user of crack cocaine when he's buying that gun. The semantics might be a better defense for them in terms of, what is the definition of an addict? I mean, I'm in treatment. I got out of treatment. Am I cured? Am I not cured? I don't know. But he's clearly an active user of drugs at the time he's purchasing that gun. And having filled out those forms, I can tell you they're not hard to understand. A reasonable person looks at it and understands exactly what the question is asking. And we all know that if you don't tell the truth on those things and you lie, you're subject to being arrested and charged and going to jail. And, I say what you want about the Second Amendment. There's nobody that's a bigger Second Amendment advocate than I am. And maybe we can have a discussion one day about whether those forms should ask those things. But the fact of the matter is that is the law. That is the law that is in effect today. That's the law of the United States. And if he violates that law, we've been hearing all summer long that nobody is above the law, right? And so if nobody is above the law, then he has to be convicted. That's just the way it is.
Right.
Now, whether he will be in that jurisdiction's another question.
Well, and we'll talk about whether they're just doing jury nullification, but let's just stay on this specific evidence. So I did look up the rehab, if he had just completed, so again, he bought the gun October 12th, 2018. Let's say he just got out of rehab. He spent all of September of 2018 in rehab. He emerges and somehow convinces himself. I mean, every addict I know, recovering addict and active users, they say I'm an addict, even when they're recovering. They say I'm an addict. They don't say, they say I'm actively using or I'm not. But they don't say I'm totally over my addiction. You're never over an addiction. That's the problem with addiction. It's always a battle. Anyway, it doesn't allow you to say, no, I'm not an addict because you just got out of rehab. But okay, that's what he's going to go with because they have him dead to rights. But I was thinking, when did the rehab happen? It did not happen in September. It happened in the summer, the summer of 2018. And the problem for Hunter Biden is they've got in these text messages that I held up before, they have so many texts between Hunter and his, looks like many dealers, begging for drugs all around, through, and immediately after the so-called rehab. I mean, they have got him. I'm just going to show you a couple, because let's take some time to go. So first of all, here's April of, for April 27th, 2018, and then the next day, I don't know why Hunter Biden was texting pictures of his drugs to his drug dealer, but you can see, and we'll try to get you closer pictures of these, but you can see, I mean, he's texting the pictures of the drugs he apparently wants right to his drug dealer. Then we fast forward. All right, let's keep going. Oh, there's tons of do you want it? He can only bring 5. Would you take that? Yes, please. Here's what he looks like. Dude, I need it. I need what? I mean, it's very, very incriminating all through April, May, and so on. He needs it ASAP. He's desperate for the drugs. June, July, you want 10 grams? Yes. Hold on. I'm going to get to the good stuff. Now here we pick it up. I got to put on my readers because this is written like the back of a prescription bottle. These things are so tiny. Okay. Here we go. 10:13. This is a day after he purchased the gun. He's texting back and forth with Hallie Biden, his dead brother's widow. These two by now are having an affair. He seems to be pretty clear with her that he is buying drugs. He's trying to find her. She's sending nice, supportive messages to him, and he seems obsessed with something else. Fast forwarding. Okay. Let's see. Okay. 10/13/2018. She's saying, why won't you answer my calls? Where are you? Are you with someone? And he responds, yes. And then it's blacked out. Who hangs at 7-Eleven on Green Hill in Lancaster. I'm now off at Maryland Avenue behind Blue Rock Stadium waiting for a dealer named blacked out. His brother L is getting in the car now. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't wait around for dealers because I don't do drugs. It's like not really a thing that non-drug users do. But let me keep going. 10:13. He has my money. Mad. I'm getting pissed. She says, I called you 500 times in the past 24 hours. This is on 10:14 now. And you didn't answer. He responds, 10:14. I was sleeping on a car smoking crack on 4th and Rodney. Okay, it's not ambiguous. Hello,
Megyn. Can you? This is the to-be president's son. Can you imagine the drug dealer that has this blackmail material on a prominent politician? I mean, it's nuts. You wouldn't believe it if it were written in a sitcom.
No, it's not ambiguous either. Wait, let me keep going because this is like something out of a movie. 10:15. She writes, I just want to help you get sober. Nothing I do or you do is working. I'm sorry. I'm afraid you're going to die and I can't live without you. What's one thing you've done to help me get sober? So an admission there too, right? He hasn't gotten sober. Okay, keeping forward. Now 10:23. 10:23. He found out she took the gun and got rid of it. And he texts her, okay, did you take that from me? Sorry, it's very hard to read. Did you take that from me? Are you insane? Tell me now. This is no game. And you are being totally irresponsible and unhinged. Tell me now. Still 10:23. You really need to help me think right now. This is very, very serious. She writes back, call me. She writes, I can't believe this. You can blame me all you want. I know it was stupid, but your part is dangerous and negligent. And because of this and my stupidity for being worried about you, I'm dealing with insanity and possibly I'm the one who's going to get in trouble. Check yourself into a local rehab, Hunter. This has all got to stop. Don't run away again. Please don't leave. She goes on to say, please come in to talk to me now. I'll take full blame. I don't want to live like this anymore. This is too much for me to handle. He writes back, the fucking FBI. It's hard to believe anyone is that stupid. So what's my fault here, Hallie, that you speak of? Owning a gun that's in a locked car, hidden on another property? You say I invade your privacy. What more can I do than come back to you to try again? And you do this? Who in their right mind would trust you that you would help me to get sober? Do you want me dead? She responds, I'm sorry, I want you safe. Still 10:23:18. That was not safe. And it was open. It was unlocked and windows down and the kids search your car. You've lost your mind, Hunter. I'm sorry I handled it poorly today, but you are in huge denial about yourself and about that reality that I just want you to be safe. You run away like a child. You blame me for your shit. It's to be expected that you go. You prove repeatedly that you can't stay and really do work on yourself. It's easier for you to avoid looking within and cowardly to constantly point the blame on me. He writes back 11/3/2018, jumping forward to another conversation. He writes, I'm a liar and a thief and a blamer and a user, and I'm delusional and an addict, unlike beyond and above all other addicts that you know. And I've ruined every relationship I've ever cherished. And then I'm just finishing up here. She writes back, let's do this. Come home, talk with the kids. Let's tell your family and your kids the plan. Let's stick to it. Everyone adores you and wants you to feel like you are safe and working on sobriety. We can do this. Then I'll do therapy with you while you are there. We can talk about everything you want once you are there. You're blaming me again, but for what? She says in a text on 11/8. Do you know how and what your addiction has done to us all? When you humbly realize how much damage you've caused, then I'll know you are ready to get sober. Blaming me, that's an excuse to avoid sobriety. If you want us, our love, our support, my help, then shut up and come home and we can get you there. He writes back, no blame regarding sobriety. She writes, you are the one not sober and brutally affecting us all. He responds, 11/8, I'm a drunk, an addict. Then he says to her, don't you want your crack back? He got her hooked on it too, according to reports. She writes back, I can't take it anymore. You want me to relapse. And then she said, I don't want you running around calling me a loser crackhead. And he responds by saying, I never said you were a loser, but crackhead. Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad.
That's it.
It's terrible.
He's confessed all over himself in those text
All
messages.
over. Grand Canyon University, a private Christian university in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, believes in equal opportunity and that the American dream starts with purpose. Change the world for good by putting others before yourself. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's online, on-campus, and hybrid learning environments are designed to help you achieve your unique academic, personal, and professional goals. With over 330 academic programs as of September, GCU meets you where you are and provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Let it flourish. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.